today I'm going to be doing a video for you which is kind of a drugstore versus luxury brand products type of video. I've done a couple of these and here's another one. So today I'm going to be trying out the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, which is one of my favorite primers, but I use this very sparingly because it's extremely expensive. This tiny bottle cost me $17 and all you get in here is 0.30 fluid ounces. So it's very expensive. The large bottle of this I believe is around $54. And then I have recently heard that there is a dupe out there which is apparently the NYX Angel Veil Primer. And this is a more expensive drugstore primer. This costs about $16 in store, but you get a total of 1.02 fluid ounces, which is 30 milliliters. So you get quite a bit more in here for a significant decrease in price. So take a look at these two compared to each other. They're very comparable in price, but you can tell that the NYX is much larger. So if this is a great dupe, then I am very excited about it. So what I love about this primer is that it feels a little bit silicone based. It says it's a mineral primer. I'm talking about the Hourglass one. It says it's a mineral primer and it's very good at blurring pores, filling in those pores, making your face feel very much like silk. And then this one here on the back, it states, treat your skin to this ultra velvety oil-free primer, feels lighter than a cloud and leaves skin looking and feeling divine. So this is supposed to be another type of velvety, satin feeling primer. So I'm very excited to try these two out. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to put the Hourglass one on the right side of my face and the NYX one on my left side of the face. I'm going to be wearing the same foundation on both sides over this, and then I'm going to come back later in the day and tell you guys how it's wearing and show you guys the difference. I'm going to apply the Hourglass primer to solely my right hand and apply it to the right half of my face. This is actually a primer that I mainly use on my T-zone, only because that's where I have the most pores and where I get most oily, because it's an oil-free primer. It goes on kind of like a lotion when you first put it on, but then once you start to rub it into your skin, it feels absolutely silky and velvety. It's just a beautiful primer. It kind of blurs out those blemishes. If you can see on camera, it kind of blurs just everything out. And it looks so soft and silky. It feels soft and silky. You can kind of see, I'm looking in the viewfinder, you can kind of see the difference in the blurring effect, and then it makes this side look so much better. So now I'm going to apply the NYX Angel Veil solely to my left hand so I don't cross-contaminate, and put that on the left half of my face. What's great about the NYX primer is you can see I've never used this before. It's got a safety seal on the top. I'm going to pull that off. Ooh. And apparently you should shake it first because it comes out very watery, and then a little bit of lotion squirted out. So I'm going to shake this real quick and see if that helps. Alright, so I shook that up and it's much more lotiony. So I'm just going to apply that to my face there. I put that on kind of stupid. Should have just did it to my fingers. But I have a makeup wipe to wipe off anything. Now this is much more lotiony feeling. The NYX, or not NYX, the Hourglass one feels a little bit more silky, almost like a silicone primer, but not as thick. This one definitely feels much more like a lotion. But as I'm rubbing it into my face, I do feel where they're saying it's velvety, because the more it starts to dry, the more silky velvety it starts to feel. Okay, so now that I look in the mirror ahead of me, I notice that they're doing a very similar type of thing. They're kind of blurring out those pores. They're filling in the pores, and my face looks like this kind of natural blurred effect. So I'm really excited to get some foundation on top. I'm going to be using my MAC Studio Fix Fluid. It's my favorite foundation and one that I know works really well for me personally. So that's the one I'm going to use today, just so I know that the foundation is not having any effect on my skin. This is the Studio Fix Fluid, so it's very matte. which is what I'm used to. But I know it's not going to cause any kind of issues with either side of my face, so I'm going to apply this just because I'm so super familiar with it. So I'm going to apply this with a damp beauty blender, get it all over my face here. Alright, so I just went in with one light coat of foundation, and I didn't find any difference on either side. It went over both sides beautifully. It's not sinking into any of my pores. It's just kind of covering or nicely sitting on top of the face. Looks like natural skin. It's beautiful. So I'm going to go in conceal as well. And for that I'm also using a concealer I'm relatively familiar with, and that is my MAC Studio Finish Concealer Duo. I use the one in W10 over here. It just matches my face the best. So I like to use that with the Beauty Blender and just dip it in there. And I'm going to conceal my under eyes and eyelids. And then I'm going to go ahead and spot treat some of these pimples I have on my face. I have a couple over here and one here. They're actually not pimples, they're just red marks from old breakouts. Okay, and now I'm just going to go ahead and set my face with my MAC Prep and Prime Transparent Powder. I'm so sorry this video seems to be really MAC heavy, but these are my absolute favorite like everyday face products and ones that I know work for me. So it's going to help me gauge the different sides of the primer really, really well, because I know what this foundation and these powders look like with pretty much every primer that I use. So I'm just going to apply that with a fluffy brush, kind of set my face. Alright, so I'm going to get in kind of close here and just show you what the makeup looks like. I'm not noticing any difference whatsoever on either side with the primer. They're both having the very same effect, beautifully filling in the pores and blurring out any imperfections. The foundation looks gorgeous on both sides. So I guess it's really going to be a matter of how well it wears. So I will check back in later today. The time right now is currently 12:15. You can see that. Currently 12:15. So I will check back in later and show you guys how this is wearing. Check in. So I've had the primer on for about 3 hours now, and I cannot tell a difference in either side. I think it's wearing absolutely beautifully. Just ignore the fact that I do have acne marks all over my face. That's pretty typical for me. I get them around the chin and here. But we're kind of looking at the finish, and I'm going to get as close as I possibly can get to you guys so you can see that it's completely filled in all of my pores, and it's naturally blurring out my face on both sides. So you really honestly cannot tell any difference between the two different primers. It's keeping my makeup on beautifully for the past 3 hours. Both sides are wearing equally lovely. The only thing I will say so far is that the Hourglass primer seems to be making the area around my nose cake a little bit. But this side is not caking in the slightest. So this is actually the NYX side. And when I look at my face, for some reason I do feel like the NYX side also looks a little bit smoother. And I think that's because it has a lot more hydration to it. The product is a little bit more liquidy when it comes to the NYX product, but yet has the same kind of feeling. It has the same kind of consistency where it's kind of a velvety, satiny feel, but more hydrating. So I think that's why this side looks a little bit better than this side. But either way, they have very, very similar effects. They're both keeping the makeup on gorgeously, and I'm really, really happy with how well the NYX is doing. So I will come back in a few hours and do my last check-in, show you guys how the makeup. Hey guys, so I wanted to do my last check-in of the evening. I've been wearing this makeup for approximately 9 hours now, almost 9 hours, and I really need to go to bed. So I wanted to do my last check-in. I just ate, so my face is kind of a mess here. And I'm pretty sure I have food in my teeth, so let's ignore that. But anyways, I just wanted to go over how this looks, and I'm finding that, in my own personal opinion, the NYX side looks better than the Hourglass side. Only because of the reason that I said before, because I believe that the NYX is a little bit more hydrating, being that it's a thinner, kind of more moisturizing formula. and the Hourglass is just a little bit thicker, has more of a, I almost feel a drying property, because as you can see, I don't know if it'll pick that up, but up here in this region here, where I have a bit of dry skin and some acne pitting, I'm finding that the foundation around here looks very, very dry. The same issue I'm having around my nose here, I'm having some dry peeliness of the foundation, and then on my chin as well down here. But the NYX side is not doing any of that. This is perfectly fine around the nose. I don't have anything up here. My acne scarring is just fine on this side. Everything looks absolutely beautiful on the NYX side. So I thought I was absolutely in love with the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, but turns out I actually like the NYX Angel Veil a lot better. It's just so much more hydrating. I feel like the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer is going to be a lot better for people with oily skin, because what it's doing for me is drying me out. So on somebody who's already dry, it doesn't serve a lot of purpose. This drying effect around the nose and stuff is really great for people with oily skin. It's gonna combat that oiliness, make your pores smaller, give you a blurred effect on your face, and so I definitely think that this NYX primer, the Angel Veil, is great for people with normal to dry skin, and the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer is better for people with oily skin. So I think they're both amazing products. It's just those are the differences that I'm noticing, the reasons I think they're better for these skin types, and both are really great options. It really just depends upon what your skin type is. So I personally will not be purchasing the Mineral Veil anymore, because for my skin type, the NYX Angel Veil works a lot better. So I really hope that this review type of luxury versus drugstore brand video here was helpful. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.